You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Hello, everyone. How are you? Ryan Tejas is in his house. Is that what the kids are saying?
Yeah, man.
Jeez, I don't know.
It's all come back around. The slang has come back around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening. Listen, I appreciate it. And if you're here for Stephen Ogg and you don't know who the hell I am, which is not unlikely, all I ask is if you like the interview and you're like, hey, it doesn't suck, write a review, subscribe, listen to this podcast. This is the little podcast that could. And this podcast really, we keep going. And it's because of my patrons. I love you guys, every one of you. Thank you for any of you that contribute and donate to the podcast. Go to
patreon.com/inside of you.
Patreon.com/inside of you. Patreon. And there's like different tiers, and you get your name shouted out every episode, and you get certain discounts, and you get occasional Zooms, and you get like live, just so much stuff going on, and you're helping the podcast. Think of it like a screener. By the way, on the Inside of You online store, if you go there, there's Leximus scripts autographed by me and Lex Luthor Funko Pops, not many left, and a bunch of all this shirts and autographs and lunchbox, Smallville lunchbox, and also look at this, ship keys, and this is new. This is our new Tumblr. It's awesome. You got to get one. Go to the Inside of You online store. And my Instagram, go to @the_Michael_Rosenbaum if you want a cameo. Go to my link tree, see what cons I'm doing and Tom Welling are doing. We're doing a Smallville cruise coming up, so I hope you guys will be on the cruise, and a few other things. The Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath, Ryan.
Yeah,
you know that stuff.
Yeah,
it's available on Amazon. It's my new product for your dog. My dog's breath smelled like crap, and I was like, I gotta fix this, and I came up with a product. And you just put a cap full in your dog's water, odorless, tasteless, and so many people are saying they love it. So this is great. So I hope that you guys love it. And The Talented Farter, my book, is on Amazon. It's a sound book, and it's a lot of fun. So check that out if you want. Got a great guest today. I really enjoyed this. He was so, not philosophical, but more just very present.
Yeah.
Like Stephen Ogg is super present, super talented, and he goes to the beat of his own drum.
Yeah.
And I love that about when people do that. I'm very envious of that. When people just, and obviously, he's got some things going on. I've got some things going. We all have things going on, but he knows who he is. And that's really special to see. Didn't you get that from him?
Yeah. No, he's very comfortable. He's done a lot of growing, and he's able to have like a very fine, like, worldview and just perspective on stuff, which I really like.
Yeah.
Also Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk Walking Dead, of course, and everything else. He's done a ton of stuff. But let's just get inside of Stephen Ogg. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. When did we meet?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. It was because we have many mutual friends, but it was at a con.
Yep. It was at a con, yeah. Years ago.
But where? When?
I'm terrible. Are you terrible?
Yeah, last week. I don't know. I'm literally, something could happen last week or a year ago. I really don't know. But I'm trying to think, like, is it Europe? Was it in Europe? I feel like it was like a
Germany,
Portland, Oregon.
It could have been. It could have been Portland, Oregon. It was probably at the height of Walking Dead too.
I don't remember that. I just remember, which is what I remember generally about humans and like shows and anything I do, is the connection to someone or not.
Yeah. No, that's all it is, connection.
I knew you, but we'd never met.
Yeah.
But all I remember, you were having back pain.
Yeah.
You were having your back issues. But we immediately just started having a lovely chat.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about like, how's the con? It was just, we had
about
this great chat.
A moment, yeah.
And then I was like, all right, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I remember too, but I just can't remember where we are. But what I do love is that you come to my house and you bear gifts. You brought this passion fruit that is probably from your garden, of course, right?
I hope so.
And this lovely book of poems, Catharsis, Volume 1.
Catharsis, my arse is capable of more than flush.
I mean, you know, when I look at your like, sorry, when I look at your Instagram and stuff, it's like, what I love is you are you. And I don't know how long it's taken to you to be as much of you as you are. And I don't know how that makes sense. But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like you're spiritual. I feel like you're grounded. I feel like you feel a lot, like you're an emotional guy. You kind of wear your emotions on your sleeves. That's just what I get. And I feel like I'm a good judge of character. And I feel like you, like everyone else, we're trying to find purpose. We're trying to find all these things, and you know, things happen along the way, which is life. Someone else was saying, I said something like, it's not just about the good things in life. It's about the bad things and how you get through them. And it's not just, I think people think of, life, it should be all good. It should be all good. But, but life is about learning. Life is about growing. Life is about, and things don't happen
But
our
life
way.
can also be really good and still be painful as fuck. I mean, that's the thing. And it's also how we experience life. Like I've had this, it's been a lot lately with feeling versus understanding. I'm a feeler.
Yeah.
And when I feel, it overtakes the ability to understand. And on a basic level, I mean, like when we were first going to do this a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and I was like, oh man, like I was just depressed. I was going to
say, I felt like you weren't very in a good place. You were trying to work through it.
Yeah. And I'm very much, I do. And I just wrote about this idea of, and I'm still not, I don't think I've articulated it well, but it has something to do with, I am adept and good at getting rid of the cloudy days, the dark days.
How do you do it?
And that can be whatever, right? Cloudy days can be depression, can be something you're just going through. That's a rough time. And for me, it used to be 2 weeks, fetal position, or just like depressed.
Couldn't get out of bed, like serious depression.
Well, I've never been able to, and this is what a therapist once said. It said, you're not, it was, the depressed, whatever the label was that they used, any more than some of the other labels that were put out there, because of the fact that I still do get out of bed. Like the fetal position is more just that feeling.
Yeah.
I still get up and do something, even though I'm feeling like shit. It doesn't feel as good, and it generally helps get me out of it. But I have that's my morning routine of yoga and spinning on the fucking Peloton. That's not for any sort of like
it's for here.
Look at my, it's
for your
all
mind.
for there. Side effects include looking pretty sweet, but it's not like that doesn't serve me any purpose. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not like I'm, hey, checking myself out, or it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with putting my head in a bit more of a better place. And I can only get that through, because I can't run anymore. As you know, like our bodies just, some of our bodies just break fucking down.
Well, I always talk about this, but it's science. It's like, if you're sedentary, if you're not doing anything, it's not just physically, you're going to get fat and you're going to get this, you're going to have heart disease, all these things that can happen to you if you don't move, but your mind, you will get clinically depressed by not moving around, by not leaving the house, by not getting exercise, by not having enough interaction with people, connection.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, then when you're having those days, you're feeling like shit and you don't want to do anything, but you should probably do something. And it's pushing yourself to do that. And you stay in a routine, right? You do this every morning, no matter if you feel good or bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. Aside from obviously, like if I'm traveling or somewhere where I can't, like that's the great thing about yoga is you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
You can just, and I take my mat with me and I'll just do it in my hotel room. I can do it in this space, even if it's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel the benefits of it in my head. So yeah, it's part of, I need that, but also along with that, like sort of the morning routine, if you will, includes my coffee. Like I take my coffee with me everywhere in the world. So it's usually it's Kicking Horse Coffee, which you think at this point I should get a fucking sponsor.
Yeah.
And when my missus orders the box of it, she's like, why don't I approach them? And I'm like, please do. I've tried.
What? Did you Instagram them? Message
Oh,
them?
yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
And they've just never, but this is for years. Like I'm a serious, it's Three Sisters, which is the mountain range in Alberta where I'm from.
Right.
So that's kind of cool. It's the Three Sisters mountain range. It's a medium roast, but I literally, like when I was filming in Manchester, for 3 months, I took enough beans and I take a grinder and my Bodum. Just because the morning, I'm going to start my day the way I want to start it. And that cup of coffee from Three Sisters just makes me feel like, that, and then a book, something to read, or an art book.
Just for like 20 minutes, an hour, whatever it is.
That's my morning. So I have my Bodum and I get my book that I'm reading, or if, a lot of times I love like the books, like the Francis Bacon books or Lucien Freud or the art books that have the writing. So you're stimulated by the beautiful art, but then I love interviews with the, the art books. I'm like Rizzoli or the, you always get them at Hauser and Wirth, the big art books, those big, beautiful books. That's how I start my day. The Bodum then obviously usually includes cleaning out the pipes because the coffee for me is like Pavlov's dogs.
But you weren't always into this.
Are you okay with all
Ron,
this?
you're right.
You okay?
But you weren't always like this. You weren't always into yoga, were you?
No.
You weren't into all this health stuff and all. You were probably at a different place in your life, which you probably look back and go, I wasn't as happy as I am now.
I don't know if I'm any.
You don't know if you're any happier.
I think I'm the same.
You think you're the same as 10 years ago?
It's different. Yeah. Circumstances are changed. I'm certainly happier now. But also that's my personal life. Like I just have such peace and strength with my home and my relationship and my missus. It's just like,
and all these things kind of happen to you. Like you just said outside, you said something like you got your dog, you got your girlfriend
and a truck
Now that happened
literally 4 years ago before COVID
at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much because I was shooting in Vancouver, Snowpiercer. So I wanted to drive up, and I think we'd already done a season or the COVID came. I forget the exact time, but I definitely wanted a truck just to go like camping. Like I'm
Canadian boy.
Yeah, you'd think, but it's so not true. Cause like I'm full on bougie. Like I'd rather have a little boutique hotel than like sleep on the rocks. I did go camping with a dear friend of mine that I did the short film Franken 3 with, which is actually just got into a Paris Film Festival, which is cool. But Charlie and I, when we first met, I just got the truck.
Charlie the truck.
Charlie, my friend.
Oh, your friend Charlie.
And my truck's my friend too.
Yeah. Do you have a name for your truck?
I don't.
Yeah.
My mom she's always named her cars. And I think Dizzy Gillespie is the current car, which I don't understand why she calls it Dizzy Gillespie.
Right.
Bless my mom. But so anyways, we did go camping, Charlie and I, and he came with me when I rescued Satva, my dog. He was in the truck, which I also discovered Charlie has a gag reflex because when I rescued the dog it was from an organization. So I didn't rescue on the street. It was, I forget where.
But you made the choice to adopt.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll always adopt. And the dog saw it at that point. Vin Scully, what's the name I said?
Vin Scully, he was an announcer for the Dodgers. High drive in right field. And the big question will be, whatever happened to Oil Can Boyd? I don't know. I don't do an impression, but you know what I'm talking about.
That could be spot on because I'd never heard of Vin Scully.
Right.
I didn't know. And so they were like, Vin Scully. I was like, what's Vin Scully? And they're like, then they're like,
well, you're a Canadian boy. You don't know Vin Scully.
But I don't even know sports.
You don't know sports guy,
I'm
not a hockey guy, nothing.
I grew up in Calgary. I still don't skate. I don't ski.
I'm more of a Canadian than you are.
Yeah.
And I know every province and territory, and I know the anthem. I'm more of a Canadian than you.
Probably.
No,
I always say the government kicked me out. Or kicked me out. Kicked me out.
Kick me out.
But so Charlie and I did go camping during our first sort of friendship date. And I had got the hardcover on the truck, and Sot came with us, and we went out to what we referred to as Poop Island, but I don't think that's its official
Real
name.
Yeah, probably not.
But you get the idea why. So anyways, Charlie would, I thought he was going to bring an air mattress. He didn't. So I just had a yoga mat. So he was going to sleep down by the water. Beautiful, like sleeping by the water, right? How gorgeous. He gets to hear the waves.
I'm neurotic. I think I'd wake up drowning. Somehow a tidal wave would hit.
He just thought this is beautiful. I, of course, was like, well, I'm sleeping in my truck. I got a bed for a reason. I got one of those bougie double air mattresses. So that was
Sleeping
my
like a
camping.
king, yeah.
And then Charlie ended up actually, after 3 days, we realized he was sleeping on horrible rocks. So I'd get up, I'd go hiking with the dog and go explore. He would literally pass out in the truck for a few hours because that was the only sleep he would get. So I'm not a camper.
You're not a camper.
I just got it to drive to Vancouver with the dog when we were shooting up there. That was the idea. And then, yes, it was the beginning of COVID. And I think I got onto the dating app just because I don't.
And you met a girl on Raya.
Yeah. And it was great.
How many did you go through before you found one?
I have to say, I always had success on Raya.
With good women, nice women?
Some I'm still friends with. Yeah.
Right?
But I also wasn't I'm not your typical, I had friends, the really good looking friends.
Yeah.
That you just look at them, you're like, oh, you're so good looking. And they're shirtless, and then they're on the motorcycle, and then they're holding a puppy, and then they're on a boat, and then they're jumping off a boat and
doing yoga poses.
Mine was, I was told from a friend that mine was the most standoffish, because I think I was probably giving a finger in a few of the pictures.
But also, it
was me.
Yeah, it was you. See, that's the problem with dating apps is when you see them in real life, you're like, I'm looking for this person. You don't even know who they are.
Are they that different?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, because it's glamour shots. It's how can I look the best I can look? And the reality is you're setting yourself up for disaster.
Why would you advertise yourself as something so much different than what you are?
Well,
which is kind of goes back to the Instagram thing, and to each his own how you use it. For me, it's sort of this art installation, and it's also my part of my need to express myself, do something creative. It holds me accountable to write something or to try to express something, or I see it usually just today, there was walking the dog and there was this interesting reflection as I walk by, which appears like I'm checking myself out probably, but I think I saw this interesting reflection with these two palm trees. I was like, oh, that'd be funny. And then it came up with some lyric in my head about two palms or something. And then it's a need to express it. So I just put it out there.
Yeah.
And then it's gone and I leave it. But it is all me.
Good, because false advertising is everywhere. Because how many times you see a trailer for a movie, you're like, you know what, that's good, and then it's a big piece of shit. But they got the trailer, and wow, they sold it. Yep. And then you go out there, and you're like, this isn't the movie I was expecting to see. Everything. So it's always a disappointment. But I the older I get, the more sort of what's the word, begrudging, sort of old, fucking, I don't want to see this, and I don't want to see that. Do you see a lot of movies? Do you see, you don't, you've never been into this. Even when you were, you were in the biggest game in history, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
You were like, great, I'm in that game, but you didn't play games.
No.
You didn't really, it wasn't your thing.
No. Even growing up, I played, I don't know, probably played Donkey Kong.
I have it downstairs.
Really?
Yeah.
Or I loved the Miss Pac-Man with the Galaga.
I have a full-size Galaga machine downstairs.
That's the one where it just goes.
Yep. You double the ship.
Yeah. And it goes, and it joins it, and then you're like, yeah.
And the challenging stage.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
But even those, I look at that, I'm like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
Who has the science to put that together?
And now you can't even play these games. They're so difficult. They're so crazy.
I just also it's never
interested you.
Yeah. I love books. I read books and books. And
Inside View is brought to you by Quince. Listen to this, guys. If you're looking for really good clothing at a fraction of the cost of what it normally costs, then listen to this. This is Quince. Okay. And I got a cashmere sweater for $50. Yeah. Where have you ever heard of that, Ryan?
No, never.
No. Elevating my lifestyle used to mean breaking the bank, but no, not anymore. With Quince, I get high-end, versatile pieces at prices I can actually afford. Now I can upgrade my style by snagging killer luxury essentials that sync with my vibe and my wallet.
Quince has all the must-haves like Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweaters from $50, iconic 100% leather jackets, and versatile flow knit activewear.
The best part, Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands.
By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out most of the middleman and passes the savings on to us.
Yes, pretty amazing. This is a great sponsor, especially for people who like to look sharp and don't want to pay the big bucks. Quince is pretty awesome. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/inside for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/inside to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/inside. Inside of You is brought to you by Lumen. Check this out. This is so cool. This is it's just good for your well-being and technology, man. It is crazy. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device, and I have it, and it works, that helps measure your metabolism through your breath. And on the app, it will tell you if it sees you're burning fat or carbs, gives you tailored guidance to help improve your nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management. Look at these technological wizards, Lumen. It's so easy. I have it right behind my desk, and I do it every morning, and it just checks everything that's going on with me. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat into fuel that keeps you going.
Because your metabolism is at the center of everything your body does, optimal metabolic wellness translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, etc.
Yeah, Lumen gives you recommendations to help improve your metabolic wellness. It can also track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause and adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism in good shape through hormonal shifts so you can keep up your energy and stave off cravings. Guys, take the next step to helping improve your health. Go to lumen.me/inside to get 20% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/inside for 20% off your purchase. Lumen.me/inside for 20% off your purchase. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Did you have a good upbringing? Were your parents very, were they like, hey, you need to read more, you need to this, you know?
I have to say, my mom was a big reader. We read different things. She still reads. Like, she's 83 now and still always reading. But not my kind of stuff. Like, she likes a good old detective novel or something very easy to digest.
Right.
But my dad never read. My dad never read a book, and he would read the newspaper when he came home from work.
Did the crossword puzzles?
No, didn't do the crossword puzzles. Literally would just like watch news and read the paper. I never saw my dad pick up a book.
Yeah. I'm kind of in between your mom and dad. That sounded weird. But I'm sort of like every once in a while.
Did it sound weird?
I don't know. But I'll read a book every once in a while. But I love movies and I love documentaries and I like all that stuff. So but I'm not a big reader. But I love history. I love nonfiction. I don't really read fiction. You probably do.
I'm not a big, it's fiction. I love documentaries probably more than anything. I used to be, there were the years in New York, right? Those first few years in New York doing the Criterion Collection.
Oh yeah. Laserdisc.
Going to acting class. And in the morning I would watch the Criterion film. And then the day would go. And then at the evening, I would watch it again with the director commentary.
Right.
And I went through all the classics. I went through every film, just like I did novels. I used to go through sort of the Russian literature, then the French, then the British, and all of them based on sort of the teacher, mentor, student.
You read like Dostoevsky and all that shit.
Yeah.
You read all that
like
shit.
Dostoevsky to Gogol, whoever was below. And that's when I was living in Europe. That was sort of my education. I didn't go to school. So I would just read all of them, and the Brits, the French. Yeah, I just loved it. And I still love literature. Like, words are
obviously
the most important thing.
You wrote a book on poetry.
Yeah. And that's one of hopefully 5 that we've got going. But those were all, again, like Catharsis, born out of a place of pain, really. Like, that's the most painful one that one was.
Ooh, I like this one. Sitting is not sitting around, not waiting for the moment, not expecting an about face, not seeing a change, not needing it from that. Sitting in this moment, full life, living it, saddened by the nefarious greed, enlivened by the love. Never those two shall meet. The darkness sits outside, the lightness sits inside me. Staying in open to all. That's a lot of like feeling. That's therapy. What I read from that. That's sort of therapy.
It's a release, and it is. These are. I'm not an editor, re-editor, rewrite.
This is it.
It is just. It's sort of
raw,
off the heart, from the cuff, or from the cuff off the heart. It's just something that it kind of generally percolates, and it's in there, and something comes to me, and then I need to get it out and express it. And then the idea or the hope is to express it in such a way that what I just felt or experienced is then put out there. It doesn't necessarily, doesn't mean I'm cleansed after. And I'm like, now I feel better. I'm still living in that shit.
Do you care about what people think of you?
Not really.
Do you care at all?
I shouldn't say I don't care, because obviously I care, but you have to filter, right? It's boundaries. Yeah. So it's like, who am I putting the value on as to whether or not you know me?
Who am I letting get a rise out of me? Who am I allowing?
Yeah. Because honestly, it's like whenever, there's things that are said about you, or like I know for a while with the video game, with the GTA, everyone was saying like, oh, he hates being called Trevor. And because I probably said to someone, well, my name's not Trevor. Like, it just couldn't be, because
right.
My name is Steven.
Right.
And even if in like, okay, The Walking Dead, Simon, okay, that when people call you by your character name, it's kind of weird, because I kind of get it, but I'm also kind of like, meh. But then to be a cartoon, like video game character cartoon, like there's just no way I could be a cartoon. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I can't fathom that. So I'm sure at some point I was like, what are you fucking talking about? And then it became this thing of, he hates Trevor, he hates GTA. Don't call him Trevor, he'll freak out.
Which isn't the truth at all.
No, it's a great character. He's awesome. And like, I was still, Sean and Ned were friends, and we were just doing a Comic-Con this past weekend. It's just people believe. So those kind of comments don't bother me, because I'm like, you don't fucking know me.
Does it affect the work? Do people who hire you buy into what they think or perceive you as, or doing, or saying, or thinking?
That I don't know. Because I don't know.
Like, did you all of a sudden go, wow, I'm not hired for this now?
Well, there's certainly a lot of stuff I'm like, wow, I'm not hired for.
Story of our lives.
Yes, that seems to be a pattern.
Yes.
That continues to flummox me, and also be quite different from what people, I think, expect or see of me versus the reality are so fucking different. Like, people think I'm at the table, like we have a multitude of friends that we know, or acquaintances that are at that table, the table of you pick and choose, right? Mm-hmm. It's, you've got that break. You've been accepted.
Yeah.
And it's different when you're not at the table. Because you can have friends at the table going, yeah, you should be doing this. I'm like, yeah, I agree. But I'm not. Because I'm not at the table.
Right.
You're at the table.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a, there's quite a difference between.
Do you like or love acting?
I love acting.
Love it.
Yep.
Being on a set is enough for you.
Doing is enough for me.
Acting.
Being on set. Yeah, like, as we know, being on set is, being in your trailer,
right,
hanging out. Okay, go, act. No, I was taking a nap.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's being in that moment when they say action. It's action and cut. That's the moment you like to be in.
And the playing, I mean, like words are words, acting is acting. So whatever the medium is, it's acting. You're still, and with TV and film, the repetition, I don't mind. Like when you get, people complaining about 75 takes. Now, granted, I haven't been in that position, so maybe I would be rolling my eyes.
Sucks.
But fuck, I mean, like I've done so many indies the past 2 years, like way too many. I shouldn't say way too many, but ones that aren't necessarily going to move my needle forward, which is as I get closer to the end of life, I would like my needle to move because the days are getting, life is just what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, if we live within a certain time, life expectancy, but even on some of these films, well, the indies are different too, but like being able to do it over and over. Like every time I get to look at you and say something, I'm like, okay. And then next time I'm excited to try it again and see if I can do it different or hear it different or respond differently every single time. And that's like when a lot of actors are like, I don't want to read my lines before. I'm like, what the fuck? Should read these lines a fucking bazillion times, go on set, and it should still sound fresh. And it's still like, but that's my way of working.
Right.
And that's not like everyone has their technique. True. So you have to respect everyone's technique. But I do love acting. And it's why I do, I have something potentially coming up that we're sort of still in negotiation of like, and, Sarah, my girl says, just because you get to act, I would say, do it. Because you're a much better person when you're acting.
So you're happier when you're working. You don't know, even with the yoga, even with all the discipline and all that stuff, there still feels like a void or like an emptiness when you're not working.
Yep, those are passing times. I mean, when I've read, like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was when we connected, I think I had done 6 novels in 5 days. That's reflective of how mentally I'm doing. Because that means I needed help to navigate this darkness. So I can read by my pool, in my pool. Sarah's friend came by and I was in a floaty. We've got these bougie floaties, of course. You used to have Fun Boys, which are great. They're pink and they're colorful, but then they keep popping and then you feel like you're adding to the shit in the world because the plastic. And so after like 6 of them popping, you're like, okay, let's get a bougie one. So we got these bougie ones that look like West Elm floating in the pool. Like they're fucking beautiful.
But so you're in there reading. You're on them reading. That's what you're doing.
Like
nothing around you. There's nothing there. You were in the zone.
Surrounded by passion fruit vines. Like it's very secluded, our backyard. Just beautiful. Wild parrots. You'll have to stop by whenever you're in that part of town.
I'd love to.
And, with Sot and meet the missus. But so I was sitting there floating and it's very much like Sexy Beast, right? The opening, Ray Winston, without the banana hammock. I'm still very old fashioned. I wear my surfer shorts. I mean, when I'm by myself, I'll definitely tuck them up so I don't get funny tan lines. But I mean, you can see I'm very bronze.
Yeah, you are.
And so it's because I sit there and I just float and I just read. And it was very funny because Sarah had a friend stop by to get some passion fruit. And there I am. And I do try to put on sunscreen for those listening. Sunscreen is
it's very important.
It's very important.
It is. It is
very important.
You could see people at my age who didn't use it. And I didn't use it always. So I look at my skin, I'm like, I'm okay. But like, it could have been a lot worse, but I have friends that still don't use sunscreen. I'm like, how do you do that if you're in the sun?
I'm like I do now, at least go to get it all checked out. And they do say you're good. You really should. And I do I try to put it on my nose. Now I try to be,
I had skin cancer twice, but it wasn't serious or anything. They just cut it out.
Oh, they just cut it out.
Yeah.
And then it's monitored?
Every 6 months you just get your body checked.
Okay.
But
I mean, these things are smart and preventative.
Yeah.
But so anyways, the point is I was floating and I'm reading and she stops and she's like, oh, hi. And I felt like a bit of a how's swearing?
You could swear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ryan swears all the time.
Okay. I just wasn't sure.
Mostly when he fucks up ads.
Okay. You do that a lot?
Yeah. So do I.
Oh man.
I mean, we edit it, so
Okay.
you don't hear that shit.
Well, that's good.
But go ahead.
You can make this look good and interesting.
Oh
then.
yeah.
Cut out the SPF thing.
Oh yeah.
So she's you know, like, and I was like, oh hi, and the point is she was looking at me like I was this guy floating around in the sun reading all day. And not just that, but I had to get up because I felt rude that I wasn't, because this was during the darker days I was having. But then I felt very rude. So I ended up getting up out of the pool to say, I'm so sorry. I should have like immediately jumped up to say, nice to meet you, instead of fucking floating around with my book in my lap. But I really...
You were immersed.
I was immersed, but I had to say to her, I was like, but you know, this is passing time in a mentally healthy way for me. I'd rather be acting. And that's sort of my point with it all.
That's amazing.
I would rather be acting.
That makes sense.
But I don't have those opportunities. I just don't.
Yeah. No, to each his own. And I mean, look, who knows? We've talked about that before, like in other, you know, where I talk about, you know, I had a passion. I liked acting. I was, you know, and it's not that I don't want to do it anymore, but like I'm doing a lot of other things and I don't mind. Like if I'm not working, I don't go crazy as long as I got other things to do.
Right.
But I've really learned to be alone. I've learned to be productive. I've learned, like, if you got nothing to do, you got to find something to do.
Sure.
I always find something to do. But let me ask you this. I mean, a little bad segue. But when you got, because you didn't come into Walking Dead till season 8. You don't even know.
Fact check.
Did you know it would change your life like it did? Were you assuming, hey, this is a huge show and this is just going to...
No. And I don't know if has it changed my life?
Has it?
I mean, I don't know what that means.
I mean the audience is so huge.
There's a notoriety.
Right.
So, I mean, do people, right? Like when I have my mustache, which I just shaved yesterday, that's an automatic, like, or depends how I look, the recognizable factor. But certainly, you know, that and GTA, like throughout the world.
The biggest game, the biggest show.
And at the same time. And Westworld. I was on all three during the same, and on the same night, Westworld and Walking Dead were on with the 100th episode or whatever. And GTA was like the biggest thing of all time. And it just didn't really change anything.
What do you mean it didn't change anything for you?
For me. I mean, it didn't change the way I drank my coffee in the morning or took a piss.
But did it make you proud? Did it make you feel more secure with maybe finances?
No.
Finances?
No, because, you know, finances are not what people think. Like, people think just because you're on a hit show that it equals your pockets.
You're not making Chandler Riggs money or whatever. I know what you're saying.
What a reference.
Is that his name?
Chandler?
Huh?
What do you mean?
Chandler from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The kid.
Yeah.
Or
isn't that his name?
He's a young man. Chandler, yeah.
It's the only name I can come up with.
That was good. I was like, it was quite a random thing.
Kind of a random name.
I was thinking more like Norman Reedus money. You know,
that's crazy.
Or JDM money or something like that.
Yeah.
So those, and as we know, right?
You're season 8 coming in. You're going to get what you're going to get to be on this show, and we're not negotiating with you.
Yes. And a lot of people would take a lot of cuts off what they normally would get.
Was it hard work?
No. I had fun. I loved Atlanta. I had such a great time. I mean, you're playing, right? You get to play. And I mean,
yeah.
And again, it's sort of what I was saying when it came in of my memories are always of the people.
Inside of You is brought to you by Shopify. We talk about Shopify all the time. If you guys have ideas and you have an idea that you want to start a business, a small business, a medium-sized business, a large business, you need Shopify. Shopify is the place to be. I've been using Shopify on both podcasts. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but it's so easy to navigate and sell products, your products. There's one page that you really look at and it says, oh, add a product. So I just add a product. I add a picture. I put how much it costs. I have a little scale that I got for $2 and I just weigh the item. It shows the analytics of your sales. You know, what's selling the best, what's selling the worst, what should I sell more of? It tells you when you're out of supply. It's so easy. I do this myself.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify.
Home of the #1 checkout on the planet.
And the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions by up to 50%.
Meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching.
So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling.
And Shopify really does it all. I'm just there for the ride. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/inside, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/inside to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/inside. Who do you think of when you think of the people? Who is it that comes to mind first?
I mean, Austin and I are, Austin Emilio, we just had, because we'd also read plays. So we were always reading plays, or we'd go run lines in the cemetery, and, we were both smoking.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah. We had so much fun.
How cool is that?
Yeah. And we just hung out all the time, and we'd be like on set, and we're just, oh my God, those sets, we'd be shooting all night and just, everyone was smoking. You're just like, how many packs can I go through?
Yeah.
But we just, the memories of like, we were shooting outside, and these are the things I remember, not the scenes, is, we're sitting way back. It was whatever the big house is. Is that Alexandria?
Yeah. I think so. Yes. I think you're right.
So it's a big house.
If we're wrong, sorry. But yes, I think it is.
It's a big house, and there was stuff, and it was in the middle of the night. And so Austin and I were in the back of the house. They were filming in the front. And at one point, they came, like we were 2 little schoolboys, and they were like, you guys, can you please keep it down?
We can hear you.
We can hear you laughing and farting. We're like, serious? They were like, yeah. So keep it down. But that was us. We're just 2 boys in the back. Like, you smell that, Austin?
You'd like my fart book. I just came out with a fart book. Comes out in
Did
October.
You?
See that one right up there? The Talented Farter.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
And I said I wasn't. Sarah's already like, oh boy.
You write poetry. I write farts.
She's going to skip over this. But I said, because she's always like, oh, don't tell the story about this, that. All my classic podcast stories that have gone on to become quite known, which people don't enjoy. But this one is a great segue into farting. So I know Sarah's going to be like, uh-oh, here it comes. So when she's listening to this, she's about to be like, don't say this. But I have to, because it was so funny and cute. Started the day off with a smile and a laugh. And it has to do with farts. So I tend to fart.
You're looking at the Talented Farter.
And I'm dying to see this Talented Farter.
It's great. I really love I'm so proud of it. And
Is it
a lot of my celebrity friends are putting it out there, and they're on Instagram.
I'll look at it after?
Of course.
Okay. And it seems, it's a sound thing.
It's a sound. Okay. It's all my farts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're all real farts.
Because when I first
we just lost half our audience. That's okay.
That's okay. The thing I will say on Instagram, when I'm usually when I'm spinning on the Peloton, is when I like go through just flip through the gram, and I get bored after a few. I don't spend a lot of time on it. It's just, again, not my thing.
Right.
But the fart guys, the ones that like that walk in the Home Depot and they're looking at something,
kills me.
I laugh.
How about the guy with the beard who just looks at you and just farts for 13 seconds?
Are they machines though? They're not
machines. No, this guy, you could tell, has a horrible diet and farts like no one's ever heard. Yeah. But
farts are funny.
They are, but I want to hear the story. Go ahead.
Okay. So this morning, and I do, generally, Sarah has to wake up to a trumpet greeting the day. Musical, and sometimes, and I've had in the middle of the night, sometimes I awake chuckling to my own nonsense.
I've done that.
I
love you already. This makes me like you so much more.
And so she's like, that's disgusting. And I'm like, but you're smiling.
Yeah.
Why would I take away your joy?
Yeah.
So this morning was a sort of a 3-leveled call out to the day to begin. 5:30 in the morning, and it was just a very like it was.
She had the laugh.
It was epic. No, this is the best reaction ever. Okay, because there's always different reactions. Like this wakes her up.
Yeah.
So it was whoa. That was Sarah's reaction. Whoa.
She's Matthew McConaughey.
See? Whoa. It made me laugh too.
Oh my God.
Now I said her whoa was like whoa, like nice car. Whoa. But she's like, she because I was just talking about this before I came here, and she's like, no. It wasn't I'm impressed. I think it was like a whoa, I can't believe that this is what's next to me.
Oh my God. So you're having fun on the set. Wherever you go, I always thought that Walking Dead would be cliquey. Like there's certain people
Isn't every set?
Right. Well, there's some people that just were the intangibles, or the folks that just didn't really talk to everybody else and just went into their trailers and did their own thing.
Well, I have to say, like, the beautiful thing with Walking Dead is Andrew Lincoln being number one.
He seems like such a great guy. I met him once. What a nice guy.
That's what a number one should be. He was, when I first came to the show, so I was in the trailer because we were still waiting for the official casting of Negan.
Right.
So I had a certain look, so we had to sort of wait and see who was going to be shaped. So it was just Andrew and I in the trailer waiting for Jeffrey to call to figure out who had the look. But we just had a lovely chat. Like I was asking him, I said, so at what point in the apocalypse are we here? Because again, I don't follow the show. I didn't read the graphic novels. So I was like, just an idea, like, are we almost like, are we all dead, or are we? And he was like, I don't know. So we had this wonderful conversation, but he made everyone feel comfortable.
Isn't that something?
An extra, the zombies, does everyone need water? Is everyone okay? Everyone felt great. And that's a huge thing to do.
That's also a relief for someone who comes into this established, well-oiled machine and comes in and the leader is so gracious.
Simple, stupid. It's kind of like being kind. You'd think it would be a given, but it's not. I mean, you go back to the days, New York days, right? Living there for 20 years. And that there's still, as we know, a hierarchy, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's still the triple banger and then the person's changing in the toilets.
Yeah.
And the wages are reflective
I've been
of
there.
such. Yeah. But, when you first do the New York days and you do all the guest stars, you do the Law and Order, you do your Third Watch, you do your soap opera, you do all this. Man, I kind of stopped acting for 6 years. And that's when I went and built this country house because I was like, I don't want a part of this. I thought it was horrible. I hated the hierarchy of it. I hated feeling lower than others.
Excluded.
Yeah. And feeling like, why do you think you're such fucking hot shit? You just got a break. If anything, you should be super kind to me.
And you have the power to change people's lives or make people's lives better by just being a human being.
By being fucking cool. And that's sort of what...
Don't ever hit my Superman poster again. You're lucky it's plastic.
Oh my God, that Superman trailer that came out, the documentary. Did you watch it?
I heard it's great. I got to write that down.
Crying my eyes out just watching the fucking trailer.
Really? I'm writing it down right now.
Can't imagine. This is going to be so beautiful. So beautiful.
Well, if you had to but if you had to think of one scene, one moment on that show that you're like, that was my favorite moment, acting wise. Like, this was my favorite moment of my character.
On The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I feel with acting, like in life, this sort of term of forced Buddhism I came up with, where whether I like it or not, I try to exist in the moment. So it's forced. And that's what sometimes for me is acting, this forced moment where I'm trying to just be present for a multitude of reasons. So then when it goes, I forget about it so that it's in the past so I don't have to remember. Does that make sense?
It does.
So it's why I don't always remember sort of scenes. I'm trying to think of.
I mean, the scenes where you were about to get killed, where he's got the bat and, up to your death, or is there an intense scene that you go, I just remember being so present, being so in the moment that I was like, I don't even know how that felt good because it felt so cathartic.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, when Jeffrey and I, when we did this sort of that big fight, my death, that was That was, well, because it was also the last day of work for me on the show.
And you knew you were going to die. They told you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was emotional just for more like, I'm leaving my friends.
Did you cry?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You did. You got really emotional.
Yeah.
At the very end or before you were done filming?
Afterwards. Because, you know, I didn't want to be crying while I'm fighting.
Yeah.
Although it'd be interesting. I'd kind of almost, that would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
Great choice.
Yeah. He was laughing the whole time.
And that was actually.
And crying.
It was so funny
and fighting.
because we were both, I mean, we wanted to make it super dirty, right? Because both Jeffrey and I, we stand next to each other and it's like, come on, I could fucking kill you. I'm just bigger, angrier. But so we were like, let's make it dirtier, which the network wouldn't allow us to do it, which is so ironic, as dirty as we wanted it to. But it still worked out because we have to pay, like you have to believe that he could kill me, right? At the end, so we'll get it dirty. But anyways, it's funny after we did all that and, you know, like I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a let me do my own stunts guy. I'm like, yeah, please, as long as we can suspend disbelief and people believe it's me,
Yeah.
someone else all the time. Because I'll hurt myself. I'm just not.
I learned to let people do it. And that's why I probably had so many surgeries because I used to do a lot of it on my own. Like, no, I want to do this. I want to do this. And then I go, nope, you do it. In fact, Michael, all you have to do is lie down. Yeah, somebody else can do that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not going to hurt you. I know. I just rather have somebody else do it.
Was there a lot of stunts? Like, what
like,
was the most stunt? Smallville was the biggest
there were
stunt.
fight scenes and, you know, things that get thrown. And I go, I can do that. I could, you know, in the first few seasons, I definitely would do a lot of it. And then I started letting them do stuff.
It's fun.
But in other movies too, like, you know, just other movies and things that I've done. I always wanted to be, and I would do a lot of pratfalls comedically, like in some funny stuff. And that took its toll. I mean, falling hard, and I can do it.
Like John Ritter falls.
Oh, I can do it. I can fall like nobody. I mean, like obviously he's amazing. I'm just saying, I feel when I fall, you believe I
You
fell.
commit.
I could bump into something. You go, oh my God, are you okay? I still do it to people walking in a door into a grocery store or anything. Like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I've always done that. But yeah, anyway, go ahead.
That's funny. Those are funny.
Oh, I love them.
Falls and farts. That might be your next book.
Falls and farts.
Falls
next
and
book.
farts.
It's a graphic novel.
Yeah, you can have your farts and then your falls.
Yeah.
So you can have the
Oh, I'm with you.
The best of both worlds on that one.
So you did this scene and you were very happy about it.
Very happy about it. And then, but the funniest after was because again, like even just fighting, like we choreographed. I remember when they first choreographed that scene and we came in, you know, Jeffrey and I were the stunt, and you know, stunt guys, right? They're always like on the script it says, you know, Michael throws a right punch. Steven ducks, swings a left. That's it for the fight.
They make so much more.
And then the stunt guys are like, okay, well, that first right, what you're going to do is you're going to bounce off the wall. You're going to do a backflip, right? And then you're going to do a kick upside the head. Then you're going to do a dive roll. There's going to be flames over there. And then you're going to go through the flames and you're going to pick up the flame with your hand. You're going to put it in Michael's face and he's going to start to burn.
Like,
and then
that's not on paper.
Yeah, it's like, no. It just says 2 punches here.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? No, we're going to make it.
But they love it. Those stunt
that's what
guys.
they do. That's what they do.
And then they always emasculate you, I find, because they're sort of like, you can't do that, give you the up and down look. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'll try. But inevitably you hurt yourself because I swing you know, I can't fight. I've always wanted to like take boxing or something. Like
I did. It's great. It's great to take boxing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I wanted to get a punching bag in the backyard, but like I want to be a fighter, not a lover. You know? Like
you could easily learn how to box.
It'd be kind of cool to like.
Yeah. You could take, I guarantee if you took 10 boxing lessons, you'd be surprised. And I still remember, I haven't done it in a while, and I know how to throw a punch. I know how to do a cross. I know how to do a hook. I know how to do all that shit. Yeah. Mike Tyson, once I was doing this show and he was a guest star, and I came in, I go, oh my God, Mike Tyson, what the fuck? I started, you know, doing these things and
to
just,
him,
you know, just in character, I started making up shit. And he goes,
does he like that?
He goes, you box? I go, what? He goes, I saw you throwing some punches earlier. You box? I'm like, a little bit. He goes, yeah, I could tell you know how to throw a punch. And I was like, fuck yeah. Mike Tyson just said that.
That's right. You bet I do. So don't cross me, buddy.
Yeah, Mike,
did you say that?
Don't make me Holyfield your shit, man.
Let's keep some space between us.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I love these guys at BetterHelp, and so many people are getting the therapy they need. You know, it's so important to give therapy a try. And so many people out there don't want to come in and meet a therapist. And what's great is this online therapy that BetterHelp has created has done so much for so many people, because you don't have to be afraid anymore. If the stigma is gone. You could get a therapist online, and if you don't have a good first encounter, you're like, I don't really want to. I want to try someone different. No cost, no charge. They'll change your therapist for you. It's so easy. And if you're thinking about it, if you got a lot of bottled stuff that you just need to talk to someone about it. I always find, Ryan, that when I'm talking to somebody, even if I have nothing to say, within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I'm so glad that I'm talking to someone. Mm-hmm. Don't you?
Yeah.
It just feels like it all comes out.
Yeah.
Also, what are some of your relationship green flags? Maybe it's when your partner thoughtfully listens or anticipates your needs. We often hear about the red flags we should avoid, but what if we focus more on looking for green flags in friends and partners? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags, actively practice them in your relationships, and embody the green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, building a friendship, or just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. Therapy with BetterHelp can teach you positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/inside to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside.
The title of the book, The Talented Farter.
Yes.
That's been a theme.
Never.
This is a wonderful story about a little boy whose only gift, his only real talent is tooting. He can make his toot sound like everything you hear in everyday life. So little Michael loved Halloween, but nothing frightened his friends more than when Michael would stink up a good scare. Can you hear that?
Oh, I heard it.
It is a lovely story, and it's beautifully illustrated by my friend Heath, and Simon & Schuster's putting it out. It's going to be in tons of bookstores and available on Amazon. I'm so proud of it.
I was in Louisville this past weekend doing a Comic-Con.
You mean Louisville?
How'd I say it?
No, it's Louis. I say Louisville.
Louisville?
Some people say Louisville.
Louisville?
Louisville.
What is it real?
I say Louisville.
Louisville. Like the Slugger.
Yeah, Louisville
Slugger.
Isn't that Louisville? No, I'm kidding. But go ahead.
But they had I saw the big bat too. It was funny when I approached it. They're like, we're bats and bourbon. And I was like, yeah, two things I couldn't give less shits about. I'm going to be fine here. But I had a bit of a tum-tum ache. So I sat at night. I was just flipping the hotels when I only watch TV. So I was flipping through channels. Anyways, I saw there was, and I don't watch fights, boxing, but I'm flipping through channels, and it was a George Foreman of Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
During his young days, I think Foreman had just come out of retirement, or was just he was 45 fighting Holyfield, who was the champion.
Right.
Point being, and I've never seen this, but I do want to remember this for the next fight I will do, which I know I've said I don't do stunts, but I'm just talking about, when you're doing a little fight scene, not a big stunt.
Right.
Is he does this. That's his defense. Is that normal? Are you a big boxer?
No, I mean, normally they just
Correct.
put you're right. They don't do this.
He was literally just YouTube a bit of the Foreman. Holyfield fight. And I thought, how fucking cool is that for a bit in a film, right? Instead
Are
of
you
like
gonna do it?
When you're getting, next time I have an opportunity, for sure I'm going to stand like this. And it was quite brilliant because try to hit my face. Like that protects that.
What if you do this? Protecting your face. Here's your mask.
Or just like that. Doesn't that
crazy?
Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
Like this did make sense because this.
Yeah. Well,
Or no, you're supposed to keep them up?
Just keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Always. They always tell you that. Keep your hands up.
Yeah,
You
but
put them
then-
down for a second. You're getting jacked.
Yeah, but how about the side?
Yeah, but watch this. When they go, you do this.
Okay, now do this. That seems right.
Yeah, but here's
try to
what's-
hit me. Try to hit me in my face. If
Look,
you-
I'm not questioning.
try to hit me.
I'm not questioning
Hit
what
me.
George Foreman's doing. But hey, let me ask you this. All this stuff, is motion cap difficult? Like when you did, Grand Theft Auto, it's acting, because you got like nominated for awards, and like people thought, your acting was amazing. You really gave it all you could. I mean, you were acting.
Yes.
And you don't lessen the intensity or whatever because it's a video game.
Again, the words are the words and acting is acting, right? So the technique is what differs. Now, with motion capture, you've done motion capture.
Never.
Right? No?
No.
That surprised me.
Would I like it?
I don't know. I mean, I've just done it the once and I enjoyed it. It was, again, to me, it's the words. Like, it's about acting. And this character was such a hoot to play. So it's like the spandex with the balls.
Balls, yeah.
And then the helmet with a light and a camera in your face. So it takes a bit of getting used to, because obviously first of all, you can't get up into someone's face. You can't just fall over because of the balls. It's going to hurt. You can't just grab another arm or a person, because you have to not cover the balls that the motion capture cameras are covering. So there's sort of a certain technique, but that's like anything. Like, you quickly adapt and learn how you can, the sandbox that you have to play in. And once you do that, it's so liberating, and it's such, I don't know, because again, I don't look at other video games. So like, I know Troy Baker, who I've met a few times and is really lovely, but I don't know his work per se, but he is, I think, one of the top of the top in the motion capture world. And I think it is just it's not even a technique thing. You just have to sort of do things a little different.
Well, I
have
hear
to be aware of things.
I hear that they like things in one take. They don't want you to mess up. Like, you have to go from here to here and do all this dialogue. And like, is that true? Or you can mess up? And
well, at first I thought it would be, I didn't even know if we'd have to memorize. I thought we'd just sort of like we could read off it. But no, it's just like filming. You come in, you memorize. Now you can just keep going, because obviously there's not really a cut, right? You can just, the cameras are all around. There's hundreds of cameras. So you can just keep going.
How many pages of dialogue would you do in a day?
It depends on the day. Depends if there was like action-y stuff you had to do.
But it took a while. It took weeks.
3 years.
3 years to do it.
It was supposed to be a year. So all of a sudden, and seasonal though. So we would do, let's say 10 days January, 10 days in spring, 10 days in summer, fall. So it was broken up like that, because they had to write it. They had to animate. They had to catch up on it all. So then after a year, it's like, oh yeah, we're going into the second year. Oh, and then 3 years. Jesus. Like, wow. So it took a lot. And I know Ned has, he kept track of like the script by the end of it was, I forget, thousands of pages and stuff like that. It's
how did you like Better Call Saul?
Amazing.
Was it?
I mean, and talk about, again, what you can do as an actor, right? There's Jonathan Banks.
Oh,
legend. Right? And he step into the trailer at 5:30 in the morning. Everyone's got their coffee and just getting going. And hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Jonathan's there going, good morning. And I said, hi, Steven, I'm coming in, doing the subject. He's like, fantastic. All right. I mean, do you want to run some lines while we're sitting here? Fuck yeah. Thank you. It'd be great. I'd love to. That's
a pro.
Right?
That's you think he wouldn't do that. He's older. He doesn't want, and he just says, let's run lines.
Yeah. And those are the things that like you have to, again, with all these like indie films I've been doing, and I'm sort of now the elder statesman on a lot of these.
I'm older than you, so don't make yourself sound too old.
Well, no, but
what are you, 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 52.
But you know what I'm saying? Like if you're working with 20-year-olds,
yeah,
you're the elder statesman.
True.
And it's such a beautiful opportunity to pass these things forward. Which is what I do. And I take it seriously, and I love being in that position to be a leader on a set and to make people feel good and to be like, hey, do you want to run lines before, do you want it to anyone on it, even if I'm not in a scene with them? Hey, I'm happy to run lines if you want to practice, getting this stuff out. Or, I did one film where there's huge ladder, sort of like that scene and was it Inglourious Basterds? She goes up to change the letters on the marquee.
I don't remember.
You're the movie guy.
Do you remember?
So, someone had to climb up ladder.
Oh yeah, I do remember. She has the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this girl in this movie had to do that. She was a young girl, and it was going to be this amazing opening one shot, right? Like this, and we follow people, and then we see her climb up the ladder, and then this, and then we see me at the front, and we go into the theater, and we're doing all of this. Ambitious, very like beautiful, awesome. So then she was standing next to me, and as they're going over safety and lock down the streets, and okay, and then freaking name Abigail. It's a good name, Abigail. I don't know his name. Abigail is going to climb up this ladder, and I'm talking maybe 30 feet ladder. It was a tall marquee fucking ladder, and I'm looking at it. I'm getting like clammy hands and I'm watching her just like I'm watching you right now. And I'm just looking over, and I could just kind of see her.
She's nervous.
Yeah. And so I'm like, did you know you're doing this? She's like, no, they just asked if I'm okay with it. And I was like, so are you? She's like, not really. And I was like, okay. Do you trust me to protect you on this? Like, I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but are you cool with if I say something? But I won't be using you.
Right.
I just want to be clear with that. She's like, that'd be really nice. Yeah, okay. So then I kind of moved spots as the meeting is still, because obviously I'm paying attention to the safety meeting. and so I'm now over there. And then when is everyone, I was like, question in the back row, and because I'm the elder statesman and Stephen, I was like, who's climbing up that ladder? Like, because we're doing this one take and there's no pads here, but it's going to be impossible to put a pad down if it's one tracking shot because you're going to see the pad. So who's climbing up that and like, what's going on with that? Just a very
broad kind of like.
Just wondering.
Yep.
Because that's, and I think I said like, it's not me going up, is it? Because I'm scared of heights.
You saved her.
And I'm not going to do that. And they were like, oh no, it's, Abigail is in, I was like, is she okay doing that? Are you caught? And I just sort of, is it, and not in like a, can you do that? But I just sort of made it.
You sure you want to do that?
And
she
then,
was like,
and then it changed, and then they still did it, but they, were able to cheat it. So she felt comfortable and safe. And you can quickly see how shit goes wrong on sets with, even pre.
You have to take care of not just yourself, but the people around you.
Everyone. And that's, I think, like what, Andrew Lincoln did.
Yeah.
Jonathan Banks saying, want to run lines. Just do stuff that's like simple and kind that makes other people feel safe and good, because when you have that environment, ideally the work's going to be better because you do feel safe.
100%. This is called Shit Talking with Stephen Ogg. This is rapid fire. My top tier patrons ask these questions. Patreon.com/inside of you. I love you. Thank you for supporting the show. Rapid fire. Ready for this?
So that means, are you going to ask them rapidly, or I have to answer rapidly?
You have to answer rapidly. Taylor R., are you going to play GTA 6 when it comes out?
No.
Raj, tell me a movie or TV show that defined your adolescence.
Happy Days.
Jessica B., do you ever compare yourself to someone and find that it gives you the push to achieve more, or you don't compare because it discourages you more than anything else?
Don't compare.
You really don't compare?
Well, it's supposed to be rapid, so I was
give
starting
give me 15 seconds.
I do look up at artists, like an artist like Anoni, even. Previously Anthony Johnson's Anoni, I aspire to a level of artistry that I don't feel I've come anywhere close to. So yes, there are people, but I don't compare myself in the way that's like, oh, I wish I could be Anoni, or I wish I could write like, or I wish I could act like. It's more just like a level of artistry. So
I'm doing what I do.
There's a comparison only in that, man, I admire like Bowie, right? Walking in and seeing Bowie. I don't, it's not like I want to sing like him or act like him. His artistry and what he brought to the world is what I would like to be. So do I compare myself daily to Bowie? Of course not. But do I strive to have a level of artistry like a man like that? Fuck yes.
I love it. Kryptonite. You played some pretty dark characters. What did you draw on to become who you needed to be in the moment?
The words. It always comes back to the words. And generally when it comes to these darker characters or violent characters, I listen to very sad music. Not your, like, an athlete, you might amp yourself listening to, whatever, Rage Against the Machine or some fucking.
Yeah.
I've always done the opposite. Whenever I've done these scenes, I listen to music that absolutely generally makes me cry. And through that, I find if you rip yourself open and you're completely vulnerable in a vulnerable state, you can go anywhere. You can make love as intensely as you can rip off the fucking skin off a human being because you're so open to anything and your senses. If you have
malleable.
If you have no skin, you're just, everything affects you.
Yeah.
So if it's love, it's love. If it's hate, it's hate. So that, if any prep, aside from the words being number one, it's to try to make myself as the most comfortably vulnerable, raw state. So every little bit of salt and vinegar hurts.
Interesting question, Lee G. Steve, my guy. My hairline has been
Steve, my guy. Should we do a voice for this guy? Because if you're saying,
I'll do it.
My guy.
Steve, my guy. My hairline's been receding up my head for the past decade now. What gives you the confidence to keep playing badass roles without a hat or a wig? You and Michael Kelly are my two heroes.
Oh,
I love your hair.
Michael.
I love how it's just, you kind of remind me of a young Jimmy Buffett,
Dunaway.
like a Jimmy Buffett, like a hot Jimmy Buffett.
Wow.
With a tan.
I've never
smart,
had
with a good smile, good sense of humor.
Jimmy Buffett.
Well, that feel where you're just like, you're cash. Did you ever worry about, oh my God, my hair, or I'm going to shave it, or I'm going to.
Oh, I'm sure at some point. I shaved my head when I lived in New York for 20 years. I shaved. No one knew I had hair. I'd shaved my head because I was like receding, and I was like, oh God. And this was before even before the Bruce Willis shaved his head days, right? So, of course, when you're younger, you're like, but then I was like, fuck, like, I just don't get, like, even on The Walking Dead, I always called it my merkin, which for those out there that know what a merkin.
Yeah.
So this was always my merkin. They were always wanting to spray it black to fill it in. And I was like, I don't need it. Like, it doesn't matter if someone out there thinks it's important. I don't understand what difference it makes. Like, it is weird because I just have this little bit. So, like, essentially my hairline's here.
But it's you.
And who fucking cares? It's funny talking of Walking Dead, like Ross, who has beautiful curly hair. Because I'm always like, God.
Ross Marcon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, God, Ross, you're such beautiful. Look at that. I just want to get my fingers on it. And he's just like, oh, I love your hair. I want your hair. So I think I think it's about owning it. And it's not like I walk around with confidence going, yeah, you know, I mean, like I said, at the opening, I'm fucking depressed for like 8 days. And
but not about your
questioning my existence. But my hair, I have to say these days, I'm like, it's so long and glorious. I'll sometimes be like, Sarah, come look at the reflection of my hair in the pool.
Oh, and one more thing.
Yeah. Pull my finger too.
Dude, this has been an absolute treat. You're such a character, and what you see is what you get. And for people that assume you're this dark, brooding character, I think, look, we all have a little bit of that, of different characters we play in us, like whether it's small or whatever, we channel from it. But you're just an open book, and you're so talented, but like you figure it out. I think what I learned from this, it's inspirational, is that you do go through dark times, and it just comes to show you that you're going to get out of it. You're going to get out of it, and you're going to work through things, and you have to at least do something to get yourself out of it. And you do those things that, whether it's reading a book on a float for 15 hours straight, or doing yoga, or going on a hike, or whatever it is, you find ways to keep your sanity.
Yeah, I think you have to. And I'm still a work in progress because it doesn't always work, or, I think it's always be fun to talk to our partners. Like, you sort of,
what would they say?
Because it is going to be different, right? The way it affects your partner. And I know it affects my partner profoundly, my moods.
Yeah.
I try, and, I certainly am aware of, like, don't engage with me when I'm in this, because of course she's a supportive partner that wants to support and is there for me and loves me. But I sort of say, don't, because I know I will just want to hurt you. Only in the way that, not hurt you, that sounds horrible. There's a sound bite. It's more, if I'm in pain, I need someone else to feel pain. So
misery loves company kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's like, no, just let me be But that's got to be tough for a partner because
Yeah, it's like, I don't want you to feel like this.
Yeah, I hate that you feel like shit.
But then you say, but this is just what happens to me. This was just like, I'll get out of it.
And I know that if you engage with me, and by pain I mean like I'll want to fight or just fucking fuck, like just to get someone else to feel pain that I'm feeling.
Right.
And so that's one thing I've learned, and again, it's not always successful, and I feel like a fuck up a lot of times. But I try to, and it's one thing to admit it because, a lot of people are like, oh, you're so open with your emotions, and that's great. But I'd also be a better person if I changed it.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's the true talk about comparing yourself to people. Right.
I always do that. I always think, I wish I was as laid back as them. I wish I could handle things like them. I wish I could handle stress like that person. I wish I could see the brighter side. I wish I wasn't so judgmental at times. I wish I wasn't that. And all you could do is really just try not to be, and do your best and try to change the way you're thinking and the way you're acting and be aware of it. So I have a thing where if I say I hate something, I have to immediately say 3 things I love. So if I go, I hate Ryan's socks.
I was going to say that too, actually.
Yeah, I go, I like Ryan's beard. I like his smile. I like his attitude. And then there I am. I just changed it. 3 loves.
That's so smart. And it's something, I would disagree with what you said about him though. But it's what we started with, like feel versus understanding. When I'm in my thing, I hate that I can't feel grateful. And that's to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
My partner, she wakes up feeling grateful.
It's
for what we have, for everything. She's just like, I'm so grateful. And I once had a therapist say to me, well, you're an actor, pretend. And I was like, I don't act to pretend in my real life to be happy. That's not what an actor does. That's not the fucking job description, or that's not my interest. But that's what I hate, is being able to, my feelings overtake that. So it's sort of like saying 1 bad and 3 good. I couldn't, when I was in just
hell,
dark days, just feeling horrible and hopeless. I couldn't feel love. I couldn't feel grateful. I couldn't feel, and I know I'm great. Like I am grateful. I'm very fortunate. I get it.
I try.
But I couldn't feel it because all I could feel was the dark.
On another level, I understand that because I deal with a lot of pain. I live with a lot of pain. So
physical?
Yeah. So I could easily go, I'm in pain right now. It sucks. And then I go, I'm grateful that I have this nice house. I'm grateful that I have these beautiful dogs. I'm grateful that I have wonderful friends. I'm grateful but I'm still feeling pain. You know what I mean? So it's just, they say it's science, but the more you say the things you're grateful for, it does make you feel better, even if you think it doesn't.
Yep.
So, next time you're feeling dark and all this stuff and you're like, nothing's going to help, gratitude's not, just try it. Try just saying in your head, I'm grateful for my girlfriend. I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for my bougie, my bougie raft. I'm grateful for my truck. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for all these things. And it'll put a smile on your face. I got this. I got money in the bank. I got this. Just try it, because it does help, because you'll start.
And it's endorphins. Like I do obviously with yoga, even in when I'm feeling shitty, I do end up doing that. And I think that's why, again, the spinning on the Peloton and what that does to my chemistry is I feel gratitude.
There you go.
And so I sometimes don't always articulate it, but I feel it through the experience of doing something.
Yeah.
Fulfillment. It brings me love back in my heart. It brings me gratitude, but I can feel it. Like the darkness felt is replaced by a feeling of love.
There it is.
Be it temporary or not.
Yeah.
That's a big
no
thing.
matter how ephemeral, it's like it's there for that moment, for that fleeting moment, whatever. It's just like, anyway, dude, you're awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
This is wonderful. Awesome. Steven, I love you. You're amazing. I'll text you right after this. And I heard a loud noise in the background. It was probably my dog farting. So that's the way it is. But thanks for coming on the podcast, man. You're awesome. You're a top-notch dude. And I really appreciate you opening up and being cool. And that's about all I have to say about that. Now it's time to read off the top tier patrons, and can't say enough about you guys. Thanks for staying. What's the word? Staying true, being so supportive, and I try to get the best guests I can, but I get all the guests. So some people they're always asking, can you get this? I'm always trying, Ryan. But you can't always. Sometimes you get guests that people want. Sometimes you don't. But it's more about the conversations, right?
Yeah.
Seeing what makes people tick and seeing how they get through things. So I think it's about conversations and mental health and all that stuff. So here's our top tiers, patreon.com/Insanity if you want to join us. Nancy D, Little Lisa, Yukiko, Brian H, Niko P, Rob L, Jason Dreamweaver, Sophie M, Raj C. I got to watch that movie. Jennifer N, Stacey L, Jamal F, Janelle B. Man, these names, they've been around forever. Love it. Love you guys. Mike, Eldanzsupremo, or Eldanzsupremo. 99 more, Santiago M, Madi S, Kendrick F.
Belinda N, Dave Ho, Brad D, Ray H, Tabitha T, Tom N, Talia M, Betsy D, Rhiannon C, Michelle A, Jeremy C, Eugene and Leah, Mel S, Eric H, Oracle, Amanda R, William K, and Kevin E.
We have to have another hookup with the patrons. We should do an Insanity Unite in Chicago this year.
Oh.
So I'll come a night early and we'll meet at a bar and it will just be the Insanity patrons.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can't do both podcasts because there's, Talkville has so many more patrons.
Yeah.
But that'd be nice to see you guys if you're coming to Chicago, or I could try to coordinate something else. So I'll remind me to send a message to the patrons and see where they're going to be. And if there's a lot of people at a certain con, we'll do that. And if Ryan's there, you get Ryan too. Jarrell, Jam and J, Leanne J, Luna R, Jules M, Jessica B, Kaylee J, Charlene A, Marion Louise L, Romeo the Band, Frank B, Jen T, April R, Randy S, Claudia, Rachel D, Nick W, Stephanie and Evan, known as
Steven.
Take it.
Charlene A, Don G, Jenny B, 76, Tina E, NG, Tracy, Keith B, Heather and Greg, Ellie K, Ben B, Jammin, Pierre C, Sultan. Ingrid C, Christina S, Dave T, David L, Jill and Brett,
or Brill,
Brill, Jeff G, and Kareem H.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. And from the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Diaz. I'm here too.
Little wave of the camera. We love you. Be good to yourself. See you next week.